Across the sweeping plains of Kenya, where tall grass sways in the wind and predators hide among the brush, baboons roam in large troops that can number up to 80 or even 100 individuals. They are deeply social creatures, bound by strict hierarchies that dictate who gains first access to food or the best resting spots, as well as who defends and who obeys. Their day begins at dawn when the first golden rays bathe the savanna, and after spending the night high in trees or on rocky outcrops that shield them from nocturnal predators, they descend to the ground to search for food. Their diet is opportunistic and diverse: roots, fruits, insects, and when the chance arises, small vertebrates like lizards, young birds, or rodents. Throughout the day, every moment is marked by social bonds. Infants cling to their mothers' backs as the troop advances, while adult males, large and imposing with canines visible even when their mouths are closed, scan the horizon for danger. The stealth of leopards and powerful birds of prey demands constant watchfulness, and baboons respond to threats with harsh, coordinated calls that warn the entire group. When danger closes in, males band together, hurling stones and branches in a display of rare tactical skill. As midday heat swells, they retreat to shaded spots to rest and groom, an essential act that keeps them free of parasites while reinforcing ties. Rivalries over rank are frequent, with alliances shifting in mere days. At dusk, as copper light spreads across the land, the troop returns to elevated shelters for the night. The young play and chase while adults nibble the last shoots before darkness cloaks the unforgiving savanna. Each day is a fragile balance between unity and competition, between finding food and evading relentless predators. In that same parched, dusty landscape, a pride of lions hides in the yellow grass, stalking from a distance. The Kenyan savanna, bone-dry and sparse, offers little concealment, yet the big cats melt into the thin vegetation from the shadows. Their eyes follow a young black rhinoceros straying from its mother. The chance is tempting. Lions rarely confront such formidable prey, but an isolated calf could change the odds. Silent and deliberate, they close the gap, yet the mother senses danger in time. With a sudden charge, she places herself between the predators and her calf, her massive frame and lethal horn halting even the boldest lions. Weighing the risk, they stop, knowing a rhinoceros charge could be deadly. After a tense standoff, they retreat to find easier prey. Their attention turns to a giraffe calf guarded by a fiercely protective mother whose kick can kill a lion. To succeed, the pride must outwit her, driving both mother and calf from the herd and stirring confusion. They strike quickly. One lunges, another repeats, and the calf's fear grows. High above the ground and unable to clearly see her attackers, the mother lashes out, but in her frenzy delivers a powerful kick to her own calf instead. In that moment of chaos, the predators seize their chance, certain the kill is theirs, and the mother, realizing that resisting without her calf is pointless, gallops away without looking back as the lions pause their chase to feast, securing another day of survival in this unforgiving ecosystem. Night descends over Kenya, wrapping the savanna in heavy darkness that muffles the last sounds of day. The heat fading as insects reclaim the soundscape and predators stir once more. Yet fortune does not favor the lions for long, for every successful hunt invites rivals eager to claim the spoils. A low, rasping growl heralds the arrival of spotted hyenas, their keen noses guiding them to the carcass. Both sides size each other up in the gloom, neither wishing to fight yet neither willing to yield. The hyenas, bold and confident in their numbers, advance without hesitation, while the lionesses weigh whether to stand their ground or abandon the meal. The silence breaks when the lionesses charge, determined to defend their prize, scattering the hyenas but not driving them away entirely. The skirmish is brief, and when it ends, only scattered remains and the heavy breathing of the victors linger. This time the hyenas fail, but on the savanna no victory is permanent. And another night passes in this harsh land where predators share the same ground, cross paths warily and avoid unnecessary risks. For survival often depends on knowing when to retreat. Danger is constant. No creature can let down its guard, and none is guaranteed to live another day. Every beast here has honed its survival skills over countless generations, and cheetahs, masters of stealth and pursuit, prove that speed alone is never enough. Their hunts are never left to chance. Sometimes a mother with cubs prowls through tall grass where young gazelles graze unsteadily, waiting and watching until one strays far enough to be vulnerable. When the moment comes, she bursts forward in a short explosive chase, the gazelle zigzagging in panic but unable to match her. With speed, and within seconds a swipe and a precise bite bring the hunt to its end, while predators on the plains face the daily struggle to endure. Deep in Kenya's forests, another equally fierce contest plays out in the canopy, where chimpanzees, though not traditional hunters, dominate their realm with hierarchies as rigid as any carnivores. They defend their borders without compromise, meeting intruders with violence, not only from other species but from rival chimpanzee communities, whose clashes are sudden and brutal. Though food is plentiful, the dense population in each group makes territory a coveted prize, and leaders contest its control relentlessly. Despite their close kinship to other primates, chimpanzees show no mercy in the hunt. When they catch a colobus or smaller monkey, the assault is not merely for sustenance. The victim is slammed against the ground again and again, long after life has left it, as the aggressor asserts dominance, demonstrates power, and broadcasts control to the watching group with each deliberate, crushing blow. More than mere prey, it is a raw display of dominance where instinct smothers any trace of compassion. For in this wild realm there is no diplomacy, only instant action. Chimpanzees fight for territory using tactics such as savage bites that tear flesh with sharp teeth or powerful punches delivered with clenched fists. Ambushes are common, surrounding an opponent from multiple sides before striking with explosive force. Suddenly, a scream slices through the air, short, sharpened within seconds. Others echo across the forest. Warning calls, signaling that two communities have entered the same territory, neither willing to retreat. From the treetops to the forest floor, the sounds multiply, a storm without the faintest sign of truce. Violence erupts without pause as compact units rush their rivals, biting and ripping skin with dagger-like teeth, while others encircle stragglers, trapping them with no escape. Screams grow more frantic until, amid the chaos, a body plummets to the ground, tumbling through branches and landing in the dry leaf litter. At last, the survivors flee through the canopy, knowing to remain would mean ending like the fallen dead, torn apart, or left to rot beneath the trees. With victory secured, the dominant troop reaffirms its control, aware that survival demands ruthless violence whenever the chance arises, driving out intruders to restore order. In the dense undergrowth, a lone chimpanzee moves among the branches, foraging for fruit, venturing deep into a darker part of the forest, far from his companions. Here, danger lies in wait. A python, hidden among roots and shadows, watches in silence, perfectly still. It measures the distance until, in a flash, it strikes, its muscular coils wrapping around the chimp's limbs. Startled, the ape struggles, but the snake has already locked him in an unbreakable grip, tightening until his strength ebbs away. The jungle, indifferent, resumes its rhythm, and no one will know he will never return. This patient predator is one of the forest's most formidable, reaching lengths of 4 to 7 meters and weighing up to 100 kilograms, able to consume large prey and store up to a quarter of its body weight in its stomach. Surviving for weeks without feeding, its stillness and camouflage reduce the risk of detection by both predators and competitors. Breeding season begins between August and October, when conditions favor reproduction. The species is polygamous, and females often mate with several males. After mating, a female lays between 20 and 50 eggs, incubating them for 2 months in a nest at the base of trees or directly on the forest floor. She remains near the clutch, regulating its temperature through subtle muscular contractions. Though the effort lasts no more than 8 weeks, it reveals the snake's fierce protective instinct. Once hatched, the young must fend entirely for themselves from the very start. From the moment they hatch with no parental care, the young pythons face life entirely on their own. A cycle that highlights the species' adaptability, refining both its hunting skill and its ability to preserve its lineage in Kenya's fiercely competitive wilderness. In the same tropical realm where moisture beads on every leaf and sudden rains can erupt from clear skies, life presses forward without pause. Kenya's tropical forests, such as Kakamega, are domains of dense foliage, layered canopies, and a constant chorus of insects, where survival hinges on adaptability. Here, the white-bellied pangolin glides almost unseen, a solitary nocturnal creature that emerges at dusk in search of food, feeding mainly on ants and termites. It uses a sticky tongue that can extend up to 40 centimeters, and by day it curls into a tight ball within tree hollows or branches to rest. In a single night, it can consume up to 200 grams of insects, an impressive amount for its size. Its most striking feature is a coat of keratin scales, an armor that allows it to roll into an almost impenetrable sphere when threatened, deterring predators such as leopards and large birds of prey, who often abandon their attacks in frustration. The scales are tough enough to resist direct bites from medium-sized carnivores. Despite its awkward gait, the pangolin has an acute sense of smell, able to locate insect nests from several meters away, relying more on scent than sight due to poor vision. Within the intricate balance of the forest, it embodies adaptability, slipping silently through shadows and reflecting the richness and fragility of the biodiversity that thrives here. Yet Kenya's landscapes change swiftly. Beyond the humid forests, where the air clings with moisture, vegetation gives way to endless plains of golden savanna. In these open stretches, exposed to predators and the elements, unobtrusive yet remarkable creatures endure. The African starling, easily overlooked among the grasses, possesses an extraordinary gift for mimicry. This talent, far from a simple curiosity, is rooted in survival. In an environment where threats are constant and hunting is uncertain, the starling has mastered the art of copying other sounds to its advantage. Mimicking the calls of larger animals or the cries of raptors can create hesitation in predators, granting the bird precious moments to escape. Deception is not only aimed at enemy starlings, also mimicked trick rivals, imitating the calls of females or other species to disrupt group cohesion and gain an advantage in competition for resources. What may seem like harmless play is, in fact, a powerful survival tool, where cunning often outweighs strength. While some creatures use vocal trickery to evade danger, others cannot hide, standing boldly in the open where every shift of light exposes them. Among them, the peacock advances across the grasslands, its brilliant plumage impossible to ignore. A stranger to stealth, this striking bird, found in open lands and scattered woodlands across many parts of Kenya, cannot conceal its presence. Its slow, deliberate gait through grassy clearings and thickets carries a regal air that defies discretion. From the first glimmer of dawn, the male's plumage blazes against the landscape, his tail an array of elongated coverts, into a succession of metallic ocelli that seem to watch the world. Each breath of wind, each step stirs a shimmer of impossible colors, and beneath the dim canopy this glow serves a purpose. Far from being mere decoration or a quirk of evolution, it is a tool, one that, despite making him more conspicuous, can still determine his success. In mating season, males claim open patches and await passing females, beginning their elaborate display by shaking their tails, bristling their dorsal feathers, and producing a low, almost inaudible sound whose subtle frequencies signal strength. The ocelli hold like watchful eyes as females, cloaked in subdued colors, pass through, weighing not just brightness but endurance, rank, and the will to survive in a challenging habitat. Though clashes between males seldom turn deadly, they can lead to pursuits, pecking, and grappling. Dominance is measured less by brute force than by persistence, size, and the brilliance of feathers that, while weighing them down and hindering escape, also ensured the birth of the next generation. Despite the obvious handicap of such ornamentation, the peafowl survives in its natural range thanks to patches of dense cover and constant vigilance. Its predators, stealthy mammals, snakes, and medium-sized raptors, are kept at bay by its sharp vision and agile body, which allow it to detect movement from afar, dash for cover, or, if pressed, launch into a short vertical flight to the safety of high branches where small groups roost at night. Beneath the showy calm, its daily life is shaped by alertness, opportunism, and unrelenting persistence. While some species rely on extravagance to attract or intimidate, others endure on the harsh edges of the savanna, where beauty offers no advantage and survival rests on grit and scarce resources. In the sun-scorched north of Kenya, a slender shape with an unhurried step crosses dusty ground, the beza oryx, its pale coat and straight meter-long horns cutting a clean silhouette against the heat haze. This antelope's value to the ecosystem lies not in display but in extreme adaptations to endure where others fail. It can raise its core temperature to 46 degrees Celsius without harm, preventing water loss through sweating or panting, an advantage when waterholes vanish to muddy traces. Moisture is drawn from shoots, roots, and dry pods, allowing it to go for days without drinking. Unlike many herbivores that flee at the first sign of danger, the oryx couples stamina with the will to fight. Armed with spear-like horns, it will face predators if ground and timing allow. And there are cases where a lion, confident in its strength, has been fatally gored when attempting the hunt. Among Kenya's antelopes, the oryx stands apart for its ability to answer violence with violence, a trait that distinguishes it in a land where most rely on speed or camouflage. Its survival in such a demanding environment depends on the constant vigilance of the dominant male and the cooperation of the herd, every movement calculated to anticipate and avoid danger. Yet the calm appearance of the savanna can breed complacency, and even a momentary lapse in attention can be fatal for the young. One calf, unaware of the protective watch surrounding it, drifts beyond the herd, still unsteady on its legs, and approaches the stagnant edge of a river, drawn by the lure of water, but its innocence does not go unnoticed. Beneath the surface, a cold-blooded predator watches the dark form of a crocodile gliding silently toward the bank. The oryx calf senses the danger too late. With a sudden, almost soundless lunge, the reptile bursts forward, jaws locking around the calf's leg with crushing force, toppling it into the shallows. As the calf struggles to escape, the crocodile executes its most deadly maneuver, the death roll, twisting with brutal precision, dragging the victim underwater in a violent spiral perfected over millions of years. The Nile crocodile, an ancient and lethal predator, spends most of its life submerged in Kenya's quiet waters, its armor-plated hide blending seamlessly with muddy banks where it waits, patient and still. This apparent calm hides a razor-sharp hunting instinct. Though water is its domain, it sometimes crawls onto rocks to bask in the sun, regulating its temperature before slipping back into ambush. It hunts with patience rather than haste, striking at opportune moments, especially during great migrations when wildebeest, zebra, and other animals must cross rivers. Stationed at these points, the crocodile becomes an unblinking sentinel, its eyes just above the surface as it waits for the right target. In an instant, it launches with unmatched speed, its bite powerful enough to shatter bone. Despite sometimes being seen in groups. It is a solitary creature, each individual patrolling and defending its territory with ferocity. For where there is both food and shelter, there lies survival. Its high-set eyes and nostrils give it the advantage of watching and breathing while almost completely submerged, making its sudden strikes all the more deadly. At the top of its head, the crocodile's eyes are designed to detect the slightest ripple, equipped with a special membrane that allows clear vision both beneath the surface and above it. This advanced sight can identify prey or danger at astonishing distances, even in low visibility. Its robust and precise ocular structure, perfected over more than 200 million years, grants a light sensitivity few creatures share, a living relic of a prehistoric era. The crocodile's shape and behavior have remained largely unchanged, refined by evolution into one of the planet's most formidable hunters. Perfectly adapted to aquatic life, it retains the aggression and cunning that cement its fearsome reputation. Along Kenya's riverbanks, it lurks motionless in still waters, while far above, another lethal gaze scans the horizon. Their realms never intersect, yet nature has molded both with equal mastery, patience, precision, and violence. The peregrine falcon, from its lofty perch, becomes an arrow descending with unerring accuracy. One predator stalks from below, the other dives from the sky, but both share the same deadly gift, an instinct honed to turn a single movement into an ambush. The falcon's dive can exceed 320 kilometers per hour, its streamlined body built for speed and precision. It does not announce itself or engage in prolonged chases from unseen heights. Its keen eyes capable of spotting prey over 3 kilometers away lock onto a target with aerodynamic grace. It begins its plunge, a clean vertical fall where the air barely slows its passage. The impact is devastating yet controlled, its sharp talons delivering instant trauma and internal rupture before the prey even reaches the ground. Violence here is swift and vanishes as quickly as it appears. This hunting style, unmatched among local raptors, allows the peregrine falcon to rule vast aerial territories without constant conflict. It coexists with other sky hunters like the martial eagle and African goshawk, each maintaining its own altitude and prey preference to avoid clashes. Life for the falcon is a cycle of long flights, vigilant watch from high vantage points, and sudden lethal dives that shatter the routine of any creature daring to roam without looking up. If Kenya's skies belong to the peregrine falcon, the sun-baked plains are the realm of a very different force, the African elephant, whose deliberate steps and towering form command the savanna with unchallenged majesty. Adults can weigh over 6 tons, and a single step delivers enough force to crush the skull of a predator such as a lion or hyena with ease. Unlike most herbivores that instinctively flee, elephants stand their ground when threatened, clustering together to shield calves behind a wall of massive bodies and facing down any aggressor, even crocodiles lurking at muddy watering holes. Life for a Kenyan elephant begins at dawn with an unending search for food and water, consuming up to 150 kilograms of vegetation daily while moving through dry savanna scrub, thorn thickets, and intermittent riverbeds in search of fresh grass, bark, and tender branches. Their movements follow deliberate, organized migrations led by matriarchs who recall safe routes to seasonal water and shelter. Knowledge passed down through decades and retained even after long droughts or environmental changes. These giants can recognize faces, distinguish friend from foe after years apart, and solve problems together, using branches as tools or adapting behavior to new threats. This social and spatial intelligence strengthens survival and deepens herd bonds, making every journey a collective act of memory and cooperation. Migrations are driven by scarcity and mating cycles, and during must, a period of heightened male aggression, fierce battles erupt between rivals over breeding rights. Victors mate, and the herd resumes its steady march, following the eternal rhythm of food, water, and conflict. Yet even in their relentless advance, dangers appear in unexpected forms. On a dry route toward more fertile ground, a clan of hyenas shadows the herd, searching for a chance to attack the weak or young. When a calf stumbles on unstable soil, the predators seize the moment, closing in. But the elephants respond instantly. The matriarchs form an unyielding barrier around the calf, flanked by the largest bulls, and then advance with deliberate force. The hyenas hesitate, startled by such defiance, and when the herd pushes forward, with crushing power, the would-be hunters abandon their attack, fading into the grasslands. Days later, after exhaustion, hunger, and thirst, the herd reaches its goal, a vast green expanse where water runs freely and vegetation spreads like a lifeline across the land. The herd survives the danger, but most vital is that the calf has also endured, ensuring not only the survival of the present generation but the promise of another. In contrast to ecosystems where sun and scarcity dominate endlessly, Kenya maintains a delicate balance that allows a wide diversity of species to flourish through its wealth of food and resources. Yet the wild here holds to faces abundant and the constant threat of defending what has been gained, sometimes through swift escape, sometimes through persistent violence. From the dense tropical forests of Cocamaga to the open plains of the Masai Mara and the arid northern zones, the land forms a mosaic of shifting environments where plenty and peril exist side by side without pause. In the shadows moves the leopard, while the python lies motionless in the undergrowth, each a reminder that in Kenya moments of calm are brief and fragile. Even chimpanzees, creatures rarely drawn into direct conflict with apex predators, have learned to read the signs of the land, knowing that here survival demands constant vigilance. Every living being, from the fiercest hunter to the most elusive prey, understands that the true law is neither raw strength nor unmatched speed, but the ability to adapt in a world where conditions can shift without warning. As the sun dips, behind jagged lines of acacia and hills, jungle and savanna sink into a tense stillness, aware that with the coming night, the struggle for survival begins anew.